Welcome back. Everyone loves a good story, one that lets your imagination run with you and lasts long after words have been uttered. Have you ever wondered what the influence is of the stories that we tell? Can we tell our stories without having to speak? And what heights can we reach with a good storytelling? Joining me to talk about his latest book, The Astonishing Power of Story, is motivational speaker and author Justin Cohen. Welcome, Justin. So, The Astonishing Power of Story, master the ultimate form of influence.
I've been speaking for 10 years as a professional speaker on the circuit, Nalene, and you go to conference after conference and the CEO gets up with 40 bullet points and 122 slides and tries to abstract all the facts and pretty much achieves a soporific because by the end the audience is sleeping. And what we've, I think, come to realize is that, in fact, what people really remember is the stories. Now, going and talking to people about how to tell stories sounds a little fluffy and light, and you know, let's all kind of sing kumbaya and sit around the fire. But in fact, there's fascinating brain science, and through this investigation, what I discovered is that there is really good reasons why we should be telling stories a lot more than we do if we want to have an impact on our audience.
Yeah. So give me an example. So instead of the CEO, maybe give me an example of someone who is a good storyteller and who you'll remember what they said long after they've gone off the podium.
Well, look at Barack Obama. You know, Barack Obama's inauguration, he tried to show the extent to which the United States has come over the past 100 years. Now, he could have just given abstract facts. He didn't. If you remember, he did it through the eyes of an old woman. She was in her mid-80s, an African-American, and he spoke about what she saw, all the way from before civil rights to the wars, and imagined this through her eyes. And of course, it was way more emotional. And the reason is because what happens when you tell me a story, I walk in the shoes of the protagonist. And we've actually discovered a part of the brain, it's called the mirror neuron network. So you know that feeling when you're watching a film or reading a book and you become the hero. And you leave that film and there's this resonance, like you're still there. Well, literally what has happened, your mirror neuron network has mirrored that character and you've become that character. And so if you're watching Keira Knightley, all graceful and elegant, you feel a little bit more graceful and elegant. Where the powerful learning comes is that, and this is what I do in companies, is we go in there and we find the success stories. Usually what we do at award ceremonies is we say, Joe got 30% increase in sales, well done. I want to hear how Joe did it. Tell me his story. Then we would tell his story either on the stage or we'd create a little video. That then gets distributed throughout the company and everybody else walks in Joe's shoes and goes, hey, if Joe can do this, so can I. I actually get a real demonstration of what he did.
And is it possible by reading this book that CEOs of companies, middle managers, people starting out would be able to tell those stories and grip their audience?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm very big on practical tools that people can take away and use. I talk about a CEO at HSBC in Dubai who I worked with, who told a story about Pavarotti, which I won't be able to tell now, but it was amazing how that story, a beautiful story, inspired people to go out and increase their levels of customer service. For me, the most incredible story is Ronald Reagan, who watched a film called The Day After about nuclear war. And it was a fictional story, devastating account of what nuclear war would do. After that film, he's on record as saying, I realized then, in a way that I'd never realized before, that we have to do everything that we possibly can to avoid a nuclear war. And he went on actually to say that the destruction of the nuclear armaments, which began thereafter, that story, that fictional story, played a huge part in a way that the abstract facts that the Pentagon had given him did not. So it really is immensely powerful, and the stories that we see on TVs and film and books really have an enormous impact on our lives and businesses.
Justin Cohen, thank you very much for writing this book. I think it's going to influence and change a lot of people. The Astonishing Power of Story, Master the Ultimate Form of Influence by Justin Cohen.